Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Get It Straight. This monthly all-resident meeting is hosted by your White Sands Residents Association, and we often invite members of administration to share information that's important to all of us. As usual, we begin with our new residents, and we have 4 to introduce to you today, although I don't see them in the room. Phyllis and Philip Ziering, she reminded me, it rhymes with earring. They moved into 282 on May 8th. They relocated from Carlsbad up the coast, and with them is Morton. They're a Cavapoo, and they've decided to get a Cavapoo because they met Penny Bradley's Cavapoo when they were here visiting. And so now we have 3 Cavapoos. The other one belongs to the Morels. And then David Miles and David Higgins moved into 295 on May 13th. They relocated from North Park and they brought their dog Tommy, but Tommy's not in the picture. So for more background on our new residents, there are bios posted on the bulletin board around the corner from the mailboxes. There's also a binder in the library that has bios of new residents. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more about them, just go and look in one of those 2 places. Along with welcoming new residents, I always like to feature our team members who have been here a long time. And it speaks to the culture of community that we have here at White Sands. So we have 1 team member to celebrate today. On May 19th, Arlene De La Rosa will mark 15 years in memory support. Now, most of us don't go into memory support, but I see Arlene in the hallway. So if you see Arlene in the hallway, please say hello and thank her for her dedication to White Sands and the residents. Going back for a minute to new residents, our newest residents just missed a marvelous party on April 24th when we held our very first inaugural Downey Welcome event. And here are a few photos of the newcomers that we celebrated at that party. You notice they're all photographed in front of that photo outside the bistro, but it turns out to be a good backdrop. And this is the dining room. We didn't get any pictures of during the event, but it's before, and that's our wonderful team that put the whole thing together. The only downside of the evening was the fact that Carolyn Downey, who had established the endowment for this, could not attend, but she's here today. So please give her a round of applause. You're live and here. Yes. At last month's Get It Straight, I highlighted resident team member partnerships that are underway across all of Human Good with residents from our 23 life plan communities working alongside key leaders from our community support centers to implement programs that are important to residents. And these range from mental wellness to communicating through Cubigo to innovation and dining. And I'm very pleased that White Sands is well represented in many of these partnerships. Richard Stoller and Brian Smith are our representatives to the Community Engagement Platform Committee. Carol Studebaker and Ken King are representatives to the Environmental Sustainability Action Committee, and I'm hoping to step down as acting chair very soon. Carolyn Shadle is on the Resident Inclusion Council. Jay Coonan is our representative to the new RAISE Committee on Innovation. Catherine Mills is our representative for the entire Southern California Life Plan Community Cluster for the new Resident Dining Advisory Committee. And then we have the liaison team for the Southern California Cluster, and I'm the team leader of that. So you can see we have very active, committed residents on a broader scale. But we have another partnership going on at White Sands, our Buildings and Grounds Committee. And recently, at the urging and the vision of our residents, we have transformed the corner at Olavitas and Pearl into a thing of beauty. And here are some snapshots, and kudos to Carol Studebaker, Kathy Deno, and Lorraine Duran for leading this effort. I'm not quite sure what that machine was doing, the big machine, taking something out, I guess. Taking out, oh, bringing the rocks in. Okay, that they had gone and picked out in the rock quarry. And then there was a lot of digging and a lot of piping. And then the trees came in. And that's what it looks like now. Nice. So let's see. Okay, now just before we go on with our next presentation, Jean Dotson wanted to say a few words about an upcoming meeting.
Thank you.
Look in the little,
Yep.
look at the little white line.
Got to get in the middle of the camera here to make sure that I am heard. Of course, I've never had any problem with being heard. Some people wonder what we do around here on occasion. Most residents, as a matter of fact. The new residents have yet to figure out what the 66 different committees and activities are that go on here at White Sands. And some of the old residents have long since forgotten what those 66 committees do. But middle of next month, we will be holding a resident education meeting, which will essentially go over all those committees and what all of them do and what all of the activities are. And I will be getting out invitations to each and every one of you, and you'll have the opportunity to respond so that I can tell if we are going to fill up Jack Patton or one of the other rooms. So please let me know if you can attend. We'll be probably 17th or 18th of this coming month. And so you will be receiving an invitation, and hopefully you will all be able to attend, and we will be able to get a chance to get everyone educated as to what all the committees are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Okay, as I mentioned last month, we're going to be introducing each of our committee clusters that operate under the auspices of and funding of the White Sands Residents Association. So today, Mike Foley is going to kick us off by introducing the business cluster. Mike.
We're about to try and make the business cluster sound exciting, or at least mildly tolerable. Yeah. I try to keep track of 4 committees, the Finance and Budget Committee, which I also chair, the Green Committee, the Scholarship Committees, and the Team Member Appreciation Committee. We'll talk about each one of those separately. The Finance and Budget Committee has 10 resident members. The Resident Association Treasurer, the President and our Executive Director, Shelley Smart, and the Human Goods Vice President of Philanthropy, Anita Fraley. The responsibilities: we work with the Resident Association Treasurer and the committee chairman to create a proposed annual budget for each of the White Sands committees that need a budget, which is then recommended by the Finance Committee to the Resident Council for its approval. Quarterly, we review the actual expenses versus that budget, and if actual expenses are anticipated to significantly exceed the budget, We review the expenses and make a recommendation to the council for its approval. The council has the discretion to approve budget increases of up to $500 without coming to the Finance and Budget Committee. We review the White Sands operating budget and its quarterly performance versus the budget with the executive director. So we try to keep track of what's happening here at White Sands and the excellent job that Shelley is doing, continually performing ahead of budget. Quarterly, we review the Human Goods Foundation report on all the funds that are invested for White Sands. And we'll be talking about, Buzz will be talking about the funds that we have for our different scholarship programs. And we also seek to understand the overall picture of human goods finances through conversations with the human good financial officers. And once a year, we present an annual report on all these financial matters to you, the White Sands residents. The Green Committee, Carol Studebaker ably serves as chairman of the Green Committee to lead White Sands' effort to educate residents on things that are impacting global warming and the actions we can take as residents to be a part of the solution. 6 of us serve on that steering committee. Pictured here are a couple of the committee efforts. First picture there is showing Bob encouraging the composition of food waste in our kitchen. And the other one is pictured there is providing the camera mounting, which allows residents to contribute photos to a global database that will help scientists around the world understand how our beach changes over time and the local effect of sea level rise. Green tips in the sandpiper are contributed by the committee, and the committee played a role in encouraging the installation of the solar panels here at White Sands. And the committee is helping us all declutter our lives. Pictured here, the highly successful drive that generated a packed van of dishes and kitchen hardware that were given to a local charity, Kitchens for Good. In the center of the annual drive to collect items for the Goodwill pickup here at White Sands, and on the far right side, the repurposing center at the entrance of the garage that lets us share things we no longer need and recycle electronic goods, batteries, corks, glasses, hearing aids, printing cartridges, clothing, and fabric. And the committee is regularly stimulating our minds by bringing in speakers, offering movies, and arranging local trips. I think that we should give Carol and her committee a big hand for their effort. The next committee is the Scholarship Committee, formerly known as the Resident Employee Educational Assistance Program, and the Natasha Scholars Committee, REEAP and NJS for short. The Resident Educational Assistance Program supports scholarships for our team members. And the Natasha Scholars Program supports scholarships for the children of our team members. Carolyn Downey chairs this committee of 9 residents, plus Shelley, our executive director, Gene Rydell, our Human Resources Director, and again, Anita Fraley, the Human Good VP of Philanthropy. You'll be hearing a lot more about this committee at this meeting as they introduce the campaign to increase the endowment that support these scholarships. Two of our residents had the vision to create these generous programs that are an important benefit to our team members and that aid in both the recruitment and retention of our outstanding staff. Randy Kemp provided the leadership for the REAP program, and Natasha just for its the leadership and funding for Natasha's scholarships. Beyond the leadership of the committee, Carolyn Downey has also provided a substantial endowment that supports the team member scholarships. We owe a great deal to these three individuals for these two vital scholarship programs. Both these scholarship programs are an investment in our team members. The programs deserve our continued support. And the team and the last committee in my cluster is the committee that annually raises the funds for our residents, from our residents, that financially express our appreciation for all that our team members do to make our life in White Sands the joy that it is. For the last 3 years, Michelle Berry and Lois Ream have chaired this effort, and Eduardo and Irene Feller have agreed to assume the leadership this year. In February of each year, a party is held for the team members. It is also when the team members are given an envelope that tells them the amount of the appreciation gift that will be included in their paycheck. The funds donated by the residents are shared with the team members based on the number of hours that they have worked in the prior year. Given your generosity, a total of $232,000 was raised in last year's campaign, and 243 team members shared in those funds, which meant an average gift of $955. A big thank you to all of you residents for supporting this effort. And that's the business cluster of the White Sands Residents Association. A special thank you to Anita Holmes for all she does for White Sands, and especially for her help with this particular presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike. Helps if I turn it on. And now for the main event. Mike alluded to REAP, Resident Employee Education Assistance Program. It's a lot easier to say REAP. And here today to talk about it and kick off the first campaign that we've ever really had to the general resident population since this program was founded back in the 1990s. I think it was 2006, I'm sorry, 2006. So 19 years ago. So it's about time we had a campaign. So Buzz, over to you.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Can you hear? I think you can all hear me. Yes. If you think this get-up is intended to generate sympathy for the REAP program, you would be right, among other things. And yes, right. Okay, this without speaking. Maybe I can take one moment for a water break. Now, you've already heard about the resident employee education assistant program, and I don't know who named it, but I could have thought of another name, but REAP is what we're dealing with, and it's come to be known very well under that name. And here's our focus is to help eligible team members who've assist White Sands, La Jolla hourly and salary employees. That's who the team members we're talking about are, and who've worked for White Sands for at least a year and are in good standing. And finally, work at least 30 hours a week on average. So that's the number of people that we're open or they were open for them to qualify for scholarships under this program. This is an quick overview from the time Randy spearheaded the beginning of this program in 2006 until 2024 to look at what's happened to the program. In 2006, Randy, as I said, spearheaded the beginning of the program. I think it was Randy and Ann's idea, and it's become a wonderful program and certainly a major incentive in helping us retain, keep, and also entice employees as a part of the bargain, if you will. At that time, 2007, the first awards went to 3 team members, total distribution of $2,270. And as we go through, we'll mention again that the distributions are not made from principal, but from the income, the growth of the fund, and so we preserve the fund for future team members. And so if you take it from 2006 to 2024, you see that there are 130 different team members who've received awards, mostly multi-year. And the impressive thing is that we've had 281 multi-year awards, over $658,000 that we've provided to our team members, qualified team members, as scholarships to help them in their education, improve their skills, and improve their education, which I think is a great record from what Randy started almost 20 years ago. Okay, let's look at the condition of the fund and its operation at this point. As of January 31, the fund was $872,000. It was taken as 20 years from the beginnings during that 20 years after Randy's initial funding efforts, Randy and his fellow residents. We haven't had another real fundraising for REAP, but the fund has grown through investments over time to $872,000, which is really impressive, I think. The REAP awards are made solely by a committee of White Sands residents, and you'll see the members of the current committee. They're not made by Human Good or by White Sands. They're made by our own residents based upon the employee applications, the team member applications. The investments are managed by Human Good Foundation through its professional manager, like other assets of the foundation, but the awards are only made to White Sands team members. So we're only raising for our own family here, if you will. The REAP awards are, again, as I said, they're out of fund earnings currently. An average of 5% of the fund annually is available for scholarships, which is, in order to preserve that fund for future team members, that's become a significant limitation, as you'll see. So here's the pitch. Here's the current REAP need, if you will. This obviously has become quite a popular program with some outstanding results among our team members. We're going to introduce a couple of them here today to you. And in 2024, we put out 73,000, almost 73,001 of awards to 29 team members. We're having started with 3 team members and a little over a couple $1,000. So this has really been a great program. It's grown significantly, which evidences the popularity, the interest among our team members in it. So now we're going to have some comments from our team members, just a couple of team members, and also a member of our committee to give you a flavor of their feelings about the opportunity that this has provided. And the first one is Eileen Karenbank, who's our social services designee. We still call her because she's Eileen has just finished her program, her educational part before her final exams, I guess. And she's too shy to tell you that she was the recipient of the class of 2025 outstanding graduate in Masters of Social Work from an award from the Ohio University after 3.5 years of hard work, I think. Come on, look at it.
Thank you. Thanks. All right. Hi. Hi. I'm Eileen, and Eileen Karandang is Buzz so happily shared. And I am a past recipient of the REAP Award program, and it has been amazing. So I can introduce myself today to you as the social worker because a large part of it is through the REAP program. So I just finished earlier this month, got my degree in a master's in social work, and it was a 3.5-year program. So it was a very long one, and I'm very glad to be done. Yes, thank you. But there are 3 things. I was trying to think through this, and there are 3 things that the REAP award program has given me. So the first one is support and encouragement. I get to look at the faces of the ones who have invested in me. You know, there's scholarships out there and we apply for them, but we never get to really see the ones who invest. And take my glasses off. They tend to fall when I get nervous and sweat a bit. And then I can't see you, so I feel a lot better. And so I get to see you with the glasses on. And the other thing is, a lot of the residents, ones in the committee, residents who have invested, team members have come and checked in and said, how's school doing? How are you doing? And so that encouragement has helped me stay committed and focused in the program. So that's the first thing. The second thing is opportunity. So as I've mentioned, now I can say I'm the social worker, and that's a promotion. And so that has opened that opportunity. And then on the community level outside of White Sands as well, I now am able to volunteer in a place that has been important to me, which is to help survivors of human trafficking reintegrate into society. So now I can do that on a social work level. And then the last thing that REAP has given is financial freedom. So it has supplemented the tuition that I don't have to worry about debt. I have 0 debt. I have no loans to pay off. And I could focus on my career. I could focus on life. So I thank the committee. I thank the residents who have invested, because it looks like that you only invested in my education, but in reality, you invested in my future. So I thank you for that.
And our second recipient, who is going to tell us a little bit about her experience, is Katrin Javik, who's a CNA, Certified Nurses Assistant here. Katrin. Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katrin Jeftik, and is it working? Yep. So I've been very happy to be a part of a human good organization. Is it working? Okay, so let's do it again. Okay. So I'm a little nervous, but so my name is Katrin Jeftik, and I've been so happy to be a part of the Human Good organization. So I've been a team member to this wonderful organization for over 5 years. So in December, it's gonna be 6 years. Most of you you haven't seen me because I work at the memory support, and I'm most of the time a little bit isolated. But I'm very happy to take care and I always try my best and to give the best care to the most vulnerable, probably, units. And this is a very special unit for me, and I do it with all the bottom of my heart. So a little bit more about me. So I migrated from Bulgaria almost 10 years ago, and I have a very long dream of becoming a registered nurse. So I'm so sincerely thankful and grateful for this generous scholarship of RIAP, of the generous residents from White Sands, because with all your support, I was able to complete the Bachelor's of Nursing from National University and to fulfill my dream of becoming registered nurse. So my graduation is May 23rd, and this is my stall. Thank you so much. So the next step is going to be, I'll be taking the NCLEX, which is gonna grant me with the board of with the license, so I'll be able to practice nursing. And this is a really, really long dream. It took me 5 years to get here with all of your support. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much for believing in me. And this is, that's not the end of the nursing school. This is the beginning of my nursing journey. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to grow and succeed in this career. Thank you.
Okay. Now to hear from one of our older scholarship recipients. So actually, he's a member of the committee, Bill Eldridge, going to give you his perspective on this process. Bill. Oh, that's right. You got to turn that off. Yeah. Sorry.
All good.
Well, I've been asked to be the enforcer, okay? I want your money. Okay. But there's a good reason. This is one of the really great programs here at White Sands. It not only benefits the staff, and you've heard from a couple of them, but this is a big benefit to us as residents because we get better employees and they last longer at White Sands because, first of all, when they interview with us, they know that we have this scholarship program here at White Sands. And it's somewhat unusual for people at that level to be offered a scholarship program as part of their employee package. Secondly, once they're on board, there's a real incentive to stick around, and so there's a real good retention motivation as well. And that's good for them, but it's also really good for us. And it's one of the reasons that we have such a top staff here at White Sands. So I encourage all of you to donate all your money to the REAP program. And you can do that by, I guess we're going to have a formal program. Is that right? Or yeah, well, it's coming up. And so stay tuned, and I hope you give generously. Thanks.
Good. Okay, to proceed, not much longer, I promise you, but we're going to continue now with, oh, am I on?
Don't think you're on over there.
Yeah,
Oh, no, you're on. Okay.
I'm on, okay. This is about the current REAP need. Obviously, as I've said, this program has become very popular and it's had wonderful results in helping our team members to add to their careers and their educations. And so now you see that in 2024, the committee was able to award over 73,000 in REAP awards, scholarships to 29 team members. And you've had the comments from the past recipients and the committee member. And now, but what we face is in 2024 to preserve the fund for future team members, because that's its concept, required a significant reduction in the maximum that we could make in the award from 10,000 down to 5. I had to reduce the awards by half. We needed, in order to actually bring it back to the award level that we'd like it to be, we would need another $500,000. Now, we're not trying to raise $500,000 in one fell swoop, although we'd love to do that. But we're now kicking off this campaign. This is the major focus of our fundraising, asking our residents to help continue to develop this program this year. So it's an 8-week formal program, and of course contributions can be made, certainly be made after that. But it's been years, as you can see from the time that Randy and his fellow residents did the initial funding, and we've not had a major REAP funding campaign. More information specifically about the campaign is now in your mailboxes, put in your mailboxes today. And one of the things that we have here is a culture of supporting both our fellow residents who, for unforeseen circumstances, having difficulty remaining here. And the other part of our culture is to support our team members and through these various award programs. REAP is an essential part of that culture of supporting our fellow residents and team members. Also, of course, you can establish, as Carolyn has, you can establish an endowment in your name to support REAP, the scholarship program. Takes $100,000 to establish an endowment in perpetuity, and of course the gifts are tax deductible. And again, the REAP awards will be made only from earnings. If you want more information about it, here are our team members, of course, Carolyn and Bill, Carol Evans, Irene Feller, Henry Friedlander, Rhoda Green, myself, Jay Coonan, Lilia Maurizio, Jen Riddle, who's the Human Good, White Sands Human Resources Director, and of course, Shelley, our Executive Director. This says the seeds of good deeds flourish in many ways. But I'd like you to leave with this question. Have you ever thought about your day at White Sands and how it is? And we have great management and we have great bricks and mortar. We've done a wonderful job with that. But the day-to-day experience at White Sands, if you think about it from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep, are the team members who make this experience what it is. From the time, the early morning breakfast, through the meals of the day, the people who are cleaning our halls and our apartments and maintaining the environment throughout the day, helping to put on the programs that we put on and support us in doing that, and in so many ways supporting us essentially. And when you've gone back to bed, those who are still providing security and services that are potentially available if needed, of course, the clinic being one of those. So if you think of what your experience would be, you can't think about it without the team members. They're really the center of what makes this White Sands what it is. So this is a time to really, if you're going to support something, to really support that effort. Thank you very much.
That concludes the program today. As Buzz said, there's information in your mailbox. I delivered it about 11 o'clock this morning. So take a look at it and be generous. Come back and join us on June 19th when we will have a presentation by our new health services administrator, newly minted health services administrator, Venus Joe, on clinic services and home care. And on your way to dinner or back from dinner, you can watch the latest edition of our All Resident slideshow. So thank you for coming.